My blissful gorgeous selves, dance is the very nature of ecstasy, which in turn is the nature of our true self, our being. Everyone must begin to dance to celebrate the festival of life. If you don't, you will be yoked as a bull under the cart of domestic life. You will have to dance on the tune of your girlfriend, your neighbor, your wife, your kids, and many, many relatives in your home or your boss in the office. Otherwise, you will dance on the tune of the government. If you try to become a big shot and become big politician without bringing dance in your life, you will definitely dance a very shameless dance under the tune of multiple bosses. Dancing for your boss, dancing on the tune of family, society, government and material ambitions is a worldly life, my dear friends. Dancing on the tune of God is religious life, and dancing out of ecstasy for spreading out, sharing out the uncontaminable, rapturous joy oozing out from within is what the enlightenment is all about. That is the enlightenment there is. Therefore, dear friends, keep out from being yoked in a cart as an ass. The only way to get out of the asshood is being dancing. Begin dancing in the joy of establishing relationship with God. And you are set, well and good. So hurry up. Start dancing with Krishna, my dear friends. Now we enter into Krishna Leela. Sri Krishna stood up and with all gopis walked towards the shining sands of Yamuna beach. Kundan mandar flowers were blooming, a cool fragrant breeze was blowing and bumblebees were flying all over. This beach looked as if it had been especially formed by selected waves of Yamuna. To welcome the Lord, there they spread their scarf, one on top on another, and made a tall throne. There Sri Krishna sat and the gopis sat around him. Then gopis kept looking at his big smile and asked, "Where had you gone, sire, leaving us all in the ocean of tormentation? Renouncing the world like saints and sages, we came upon your invitation, and you just vanished. Where have you been, O big smiling one?" And Krishna said, "I went to protect one of the great sages, Hans Mahamuni. He was meditating in Pushkar Dweep at the beach of Dadhi Ocean. Almost 2 manvantaras had passed, and now he was dragged by a 2-mile big fish. He was swallowed already when I reached, and that fish was being swallowed by Pondra, a huge sea monster. It was very necessary that I go there and save him. I also blessed him with many boons." Oh, the gopis heard with great amaze, their faces ducked, eyes winkless, and they asked, "Then what happened, holy sire?" Then Krishna said, "I was so exhausted in fighting with the 2 monstrous entities that I went to Shetudip and rested on my bed. While resting there, I heard the invocations of sage Deval, who had been in the trance of meditation for innumerable years. His wish was now so powerful that I had to go. So with the speed of mind I rushed. Seeing me, he began dancing. I offered him a boon. Even when he did not want any, I just offered him. Then I heard your sighs, sobbing and crying, and soon running down I came here. Oh, how wonderful, so merciful you are. Could you please show us that Shrutadvipian form? Hmm, some curious gopis asked. Sure, of course, here. Krishna said, and lo, it became Shrutadvipa right there. A huge Sheshanaga was shining. The large white form of the Lord was resting thereon. They offered obeisances filled with devotion, my dear friends, filled with devotion. Cool, mild, fragrant breeze was blowing under the shade of Kadamba on the banks of Yamuna. When she word, Sri Radha and Krishna sat together. Paschan Vrindavanam Priyam, Paschan Vrindavanam Priyam. Then in the sky echoed innumerable sweet musical sounds, joining the music of gopis. Those who had been living there in the form of flowering vines today arose in most beautiful forms of gopis and played sitar, mridanga and mocham. They began singing Meghamallar, Deepak Rag and Malkos and Bhairavi and Sri Rag. Flowers were showering from the sky, Jai Jai resounding, and angels and the gopis were singing the glories of Krishna. Krishna multiplied himself in many gopis as there were, and with his mysterious use of Yogamaya, Sandhani, Samvit and Sadhani Shakti, each gopi felt Krishna by her side. Meditate on this. Being one, Krishna appears to all of the gopis by his side, yet not anywhere else. Still he is one only and playing. This is the fantastic Leela of one and many. At the same time, just one and just many. Some of them pulled Krishna and began to play baseball with him. Some were dancingly ringing their anklets, moving around creeper groves. Some pulled Krishna and kissed him abruptly. Some embraced him dearly and laughingly looked at him, and deep love overflowed. Some sat at his feet, played some tune. Others, under the shade of Madhavi, played mochang. Some sat on green grass singing songs of devotion, and others shed tears of joy saying nothing. Some roamed in the woods holding Krishna's hand. Walking together their necklaces get tangled in the vines, my dear. Touching the breast, Krishna is fixing them. The same way when Krishna's long curly hair gets tangled, a gopi removes it carefully, looking into his eyes. Krishna touches the gopi's nose pearl, and the gopis take his tambul that he is chewing, which spreads so much perfume. They go into the bush, and whatever form they like come out in that. Sometimes they dress like boys, other times like Krishna himself. Sri Radha, finding her beloved Lord to innumerable forms, fulfilling her age-long wish, became contented and blissed out. Their pain was long gone, and their heart floating in the ocean of nectar, love and ecstasy, my dear. At that time a great sage Asuri, who had attended all siddhis of Yoga Sutra through mystic thought, but had now renounced yoga and had become a bhakta, he used to see the Lord in his heart and offer his love. He used to live in the Himalaya and Mount Gauri Shankar. After daily satsanga with other immortal astral beings, he would return to his cave and then sat in adept pose, sipped water, closed his eyes in meditation, but his mind dissolved and in blankness came out, and then he became worried. He tried again and again and again. but he did not see Krishna at all. All along, as soon as he would close his eyes, he would transcend and see the Lord with Sri Radha in divine lotus of his Anahata Chakra. He would enjoy. He would find him every day, and today also he did, but tonight, even after so much effort, they did not come, my dear. He performed mystic process, but still he did not come. Then he focused his mystic torch on three parinamas, one by one, on dharma parinam, and then lakshana parinam, and then avastha parinam. But he successfully saw all the past and future, but no Krishna. Then he focused his mystic torch on the karmas, and he saw all other obstacles, even saw why the Lord was not coming tonight in his meditation. Then applying Laghima power by pointing his torch, mystic torch, on element conquest state, he became extremely light, weightless, and focusing it on the perception of his form, he disappeared. And then focusing his mystic torch on the connection between his form and the ether, he flew upward through the space. He came to Badrinath and went to the abode of sage Nar Narayan. Surprised, he did not find Narayan there. He looked all over the bushes of blackberries on both hills, but not found. Then he flew, and capturing the speed of mind, applying the faculty of manojavitva, he arrived in the hills of Lokalok, but he did not find him there. He asked the Parshadas despondently. They said, "We don't know." Then he went to Shetadweep in the milk ocean. His bed was lying empty. He wasn't there. His heart sank. He looked at Parshadas. They hung their heads low. Then he flew again, arrived in Rama Vaikuntha, his semi-transcendental abode in the celestial world. He was not there. He became extremely worried and decided to penetrate the thickest edges of our cosmic egg. He successfully passed through, and crossing Karanodak ocean, he arrived at Goloka Vrindavan. Enraptured, seeing those familiar divine sights, he asked the Gopal, "Where is the Lord gone? Oh, blessed one, where has he gone?" "The Lord is in Bhulok Vrindavan now, sire." "Oh, that's where I am coming from. How come I didn't see him through my mystic torch?" Because he is beyond that mystic torch approach, and especially the Rasalila pastimes which are going on are so unique, so grand, that all his forms from all over have become one with him. Until it completes, he will not be available anywhere else. "Oh God, is that right?" Asariji explained in shock. Then he bade a farewell and came back to the earth, straight to Mount Kailash. There he saw Lord Shiva, who was also strolling under the famous Bata Vriksha, while Uma was in the mansion answering the questions of assembled sages from all different planets. "My Lord," Asari said, "I tried so hard, couldn't find. I explored the whole Brahmanda while I could not find him. Now I want to go to Vrindavan with you." Asuriji offered his obeisances to Lord Shiva and requested. So Lord Shiva said, "You are blessed, O Asuri. I am pleased that you performed so much labor to visit the Lord. I shall go with you." Applying the aforesaid faculty called Manojavitva, they appeared at the boundary of Brajmandal. Seeing the wonderful divine landscape at the bank of Yamuna, they started entering, but the gatekeeper gopis stopped them. Only eternal or devotionally enlightened gopis can have access to the rasa arena and no one else. Oh, dear guests, sorry. Upon much request and persuasion, they took them to a divine pond, Mansarovar, and asked them to take a dip. As soon as they entered the mysterious water, they became transformed into two most charming gopis. Then they entered the arena, gemmed golden lane, shimmering, shining, soothing. The place amazed them, my dear friends. Jewel-made stairs in the ponds and rivers. Moon-pulse canopies were there and here and there everywhere. Peacocks and cuckoos, swans, parrots were flying with their sweet sound. A cool breeze touching Yamuna water, assemblies, yards, squares, flags, banners and gold pitchers were shining. Black, yellow, red, white, gold flowers and garlands were perfuming the pathways. Bumblebees were flying with their sweet music echoing. In the middle of the pond, emerald-like lotus leaves surrounded a thousand-petaled pink lotus which rested upon the deep dark blue water. In the golden pericarp was a palace with a gemmed, bedecked gold throne under a moonshone canopy. There was seated the Lord with Sri Radha on his left, and they were looking at each other with unwinking eyes. Thus they saw from a distance. Then there was him, Krishna, Radha's favorite elephant, camphor white, standing in the water in between the bank and the lotus. As if recognizing that some VIP visitors had come, he picked both of them up and set them in a swing. Then he carefully placed them on the stairs of the lotus petals and began making happy sound on his success. He is indicating, go in, my dear, you are awaited. Seeing them surrounded by gopis, music being played, many gopis arriving by swimming through the air, many carried by elephants and swans, some 20, 30, 50 petal lotuses. Two are serving the boats as a boats leading to the main lotus. Chandra and Lalita and Vishakha waving ghee flames and camphor. Shiva and Asuri sang wonderful prayers accompanied by music, my dear friend. Sri Radha and Krishna both looked at them and smiled and said, welcome, hello, O Himalayan visitors, we are pleased upon your devotion. O great ones, ask for benediction. And Shiva said, Lords, please accept our obeisances. Give us residence in your holy land. Offer us devotion at your lotus feet. Shiva and Asli both prayed. Evamastu, so be it, the Lord pronounced, bringing in their form waves and waves of thrills and joy. Thereafter Sri Radha and Krishna stood up and walked, walking through the air and water. They came to the sandy beach and stood in a large circle. The Lord appeared, one for each of the gopis, that through Kayavyuha, not through Kayavyuha, but it is very nature of his form, the very nature of his godhoodness. Each one felt that the Lord was with her, only with her. And then upon the tune of divine music, the Rasa Leela began, my dear. Most important devotion destined celestials. Gandharvas and Apsaras ran down and stood in the sky showering softest flowers. Gopis began dancing, their Lord dancing too, Shiva and Asuri were dancing too, the being of the whole existence dancing, their wrists were adorned with bangles, feet with anklets, hips with belled bells. They all jointly rang and echoed in the air. In the bank of Yamuna on the silvery sandy beach under the moonlit sky that glow illumined with the shimmering of golden sapphire-ish lights. The dancing gopis were moving artistically, my dear. They stepped forward, then stepped backward, then reeled around like a wheel, then made many gestures, smiled and moved their eyebrows artistically, dancing and dancing fast, dancing their thin waist, looked as if they were just going to break in the middle. In the swift bending, arising, sitting and moving of their limbs, their breasts were shaking, clothes waving, earrings dangling, touching their cheeks. Their faces perspired, their braids loosened, sari knots slackened. Thus the gopis, the dearest of Sri Krishna, were dancing, dancing, dancing everywhere. In the dawn, their body, mind, heart, ego all melted into pure divine love. And as if that divine love was a fast-flowing electric current of bliss, it flowed through them and the dance was happening. It is only divine love which finds its expression in rhythmic, artistic, fantastic movements of dance. The celestials were amazed. Showering flowers, they began to sing songs of praise. All forms of sapphire Krishna's light appeared like floating blue clouds, and the golden gopis dancing amongst him resembled the lightning. Their beauty was limitless. Krishna's love is their very life. It is this Krishna love from which their beauty is formed. Now the gopis entwined with their Lord, happily singing aloud, dancing and being enraptured. Their song of love echoed and re-echoed across the world. It is still echoing, Shukdevji Maharaj says. A gopi was singing with Krishna. She rose her voice as Krishna did. Krishna raised the tone with sweetness, and so did the gopi, and a competition brought victory to the gopi. Krishna complimented and embraced her, my dear friend. The same raga was sung by another gopi. Krishna applauded her. Bravo, bravo! A gopi is dancing and dancing and dancing while many watched standing still. Soon she was exhausted. Her bangles and flowers from her braids slackened, and then artistically she approached Krishna and clasped him and embraced him fast, rubbing the perspiration of her face on his broad chest. Krishna embraced her. A gopi is dancing, reeling around and around on the tune of a particular pitch like a Sufi dervish. Then at last she stood near Krishna, and she is spaced out. Then Krishna placed his hand on her shoulder. It is aromatic like strong sandalwood mixed with the blue lotus. The gopi is thrilled by all her forces. All limbs of her body became horripulated. She clasped it and kissed it with infinite passion, my dear friend. Gopi is dancing, her big earrings dangling. By its light, her cheeks are shimmering. She placed her cheek beside Krishna's cheek, and Krishna paused in her mouth his half-chewed bitter lip. Another gopi is dancing and singing, racing over a large arena. ringing her anklet, shaking tiny bells of her gold bell, moving very fast like some storm or whirlwind. In the speed of dancing, she rose up in the sky like Nijinsky, my dear friend, and she was dancing in the sky, she is dancing in the sky. Then like a floating dry leaf in the air, she descended on the ground. She enjoyed like this for a long time. Then she landed near Krishna and picked up his hands and placed his palms upon her shining breast. It's so soothing and pacifying, she is thrilled. Now, a special unique tune echoed, my dear, and all of the gopis and forms of Krishna suddenly began to dance. They are dancing in such a way that not a single sand blew into the air. They danced in Lalit Pataka, exhibiting many gestures. How? Like this. Thaya ta 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 thaya 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 ta 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 thaya. It became wilder and wilder, stormier and stormier, so much so that they all levitated and dancing began in the sky, on the treetops, on the hilltop surface of Yamuna water, on the peepy petaled lotuses and lilies, and on the lotus leaf, on the peacock's back, on the parrot's back, on the cranes and swans also imitated them with their concerts in the sky, on the water, on the beach, and on the treetop. Miles and miles resounded with the music of rasa dance. Krishna shimmered with the gopis floating, streaming and dancing in the air. Seeing this magnificent sight, not only the air but movements of planets became still and silent, but the moon stood still in his clear sky, with milky, silvery, snowy light. Serving Krishna, he became extra beautiful, my dear, as everyone can become. Sri Radha introduced new places to Krishna, and all gopis as a boat passed through different ghats and bushes and groves and mansions. The gopis sang, and music turned into tunes as soon as gopis saw and sang the special pastimes of Krishna according to the place and time. Krishna and Radha are looking with their eyes of fascination. Suddenly Krishna saw a small mound on the bank of the river. As soon as he saw it, he leapt up. Sri Radha and few gopis followed, running through the air. They reached the spot. Krishna started digging in by his flute. There appeared a very ugly form sitting in deep meditation. Krishna disappeared from his heart, and like a tormenting fish without water, he opened his eyes. And here he saw the most charming scene. He thrilled all over his body, tears came to his eyes, and with folded hands he prostrated at the feet of Lord and the Lordess. Krishna embraced him. Radha moved back. No, Radha is so beautiful, extremely beautiful, dear. Bless him, you too. Krishna begged. Who is he, my dear? How has he attained such a great fortune to have your embrace, although looking so grotesquely ugly? And he was an extremely handsome young man, Krishna said. Because of his great beauty and magnanimity, the princess, the daughter of Utkal, Dhruva's grandson, chose to marry him. They loved each other, always ecstatic. They lived a most pious life, dear. Then he developed great love for me. This young man developed great love for me. Soon, this creeper grew and bloomed into Prem Lakshana Bhakti and merged In my remembrance, he asked his wife to allow him to be a renunciant. She could not bear a thought of separation. His devotion increased, remembrance went deep. He could think of nothing but me. One night he was gone. When his wife awoke in the morning, she showered and worshipped me, but then in extreme tormentation her chest broke and her soul merged in me. This devotee of mine came here, and since then he is meditating, fascinated by his beauty. A nymph came to seduce him, but his love for me was like a mighty flow of Ganga racing down from hill of Gangotri. She felt ignored, and feeling offended, she cursed him to be ugly person. Soon he lost his outer beauty, but the inner beauty not only remained but increased 100 times more. He is the same devotee of mine. His name is Deval. He is worthy to receive your blessing, and also from all of you, my dear gopis. Then Sri Radha and all the gopis' hearts amazed, and eyes filled with praise. They looked at him and blessed him again and again. What form you like to be with me, O Deval? Krishna asked him lovingly. Whatever my Lord wants me in, was his humble reply, my dear friend. Krishna then placed his blessingful palm on his head, and instantaneously he left his body and stood by side of Krishna in the form of a most beautiful gopi. All the gopis welcomed her, giving her embrace, big smile. Then the old ugly body was placed on a fire, and Krishna set fire on it. It burned in large flame. Then they all took a bath in the river and came back to the boat. Brajamandal is the most sacred place, my dear, the holiest of all sacred places of Israel. Okay? Now all the gopis perspired. Their flower garlands broke and scattered. Their faces became wet, breasts became wet. Krishna saw. His dear gopis became thirsty. Slowly they landed on the ground. It was away from Madanter and Yamuna river. Krishna looked at the parching lips of the gopis. Then he struck the ground with his flute. Instantaneously a fountain of sweet and fragrant water sprang up. It flowed and flowed in a rivulet, just like Mandakini. Soon among the stones and sounds a fantastic swimming pool formed of its own, my dear friend, and Krishna named it Vetraganga. All gopis drank water. Krishna fixed his slackening clothes and ornament, and the dance continued again, music echoing again. But the time they arrived at Yamuna beach, they were perspired again. Then they entered the divine waters of Yamuna with all the gopis. With loving glances they sprinkled and bathed each other, swimming and competing and racing around some lotuses. They laughed. They embraced each other, climbing on lotuses, hiding in pericarp filament pasted. They enjoyed the closeness of Krishna. Together with him they laid on filaments, hid among petals, leapt into water, followed by Krishna. The music echoing still, but a totally different one. Like a little baby plays with his reflection in the mirror, Lord Krishna played with the gopis, my dear. Whenever a fish touched the leg of the gopis, they screamed and held the Krishna's heart. Then they laughed when they knew it was a fish. Sometimes they stepped in tortoise back and again screamed. Yamuna assumed the form of a large swimming pool. Golden ghats all around, gemmed bottom and the edges. Even inside the water was as if lit up like a swimming pool. The light of those gems and jewels were enormous. They swam for a long time in the tropical water. Then they came out. Golokian celestials had placed new garments and ornaments on the shore. The gopis wore and adorned themselves. Krishna decorated them wonderfully, my dear friend. He even combed their hair, put flowers in their braids, fixed their saris, and made sandal paste on their cheeks and forehead. Similarly, gopis also adorned Krishna from tip to toe. My dear friends, Gargaji Maharaj and Vyasdev Maharaj describe in their books, Sri Radha was adorned with 5-day clean dress. Sri Radha was adorned with fire-dry clean dresses, and Krishna was adorned with flower petals made dresses, tulsi garland, flute, peacock feather, art on his cheeks. Krishna looked like beauty embodied. Then Sri Radha and Sri Krishna sat on the throne on a huge board with moonbeams like silk canopies, and the gopis worshipped them. Innumerable celebrities arrived and offered all the best they had. Their beauty was so dazzling and luminous that their eyes became blurred. That place is still famous by the name Shringarasthal, my dear friends in Vrindavan. Saffron musk, Itra, sandal paste, vermilion, kumkum, mehendro, and arganga, and mahabar, and gulal powders were offered in leaves. During worship, they offered them one by one by one. Flowers, incense, ghee, flame, kheer, puris, and water, and itra, and flower shower were all majestic. And Krishna and Radha, extremely pleased, offered them boon, my dear. Then the boat moved on infinite waters of Yamuna. Cool, mild, fragrant breeze blowing, and the gopis were singing. The boat floated on the gem-lit waters of Yamuna. A mild breeze played, perfuming, and Krishna played his music. Radha played her veena Madhumati, and music echoed in the atmosphere, touching the waters of the river, pond, Govardhana hills, treetop, valley, and entire forest. Moonbeams danced on the sound. Celestials showered flowers. Yamuna is taking them wherever she wants to show them through her flow. She makes her way anywhere and everywhere, wherever some fortunate being is awaiting, or tormenting, or meditating to have his glimpse. There she goes. Her blue current is making way all over, my dear. Then space too, holding on his heart, floated the Lord all over his area. Thus their boat swam all over the world through the sea of sky, and they showered grace everywhere. 6 months passed and the pre-dawn darkness started disappearing. Looking at one of the gopis, Sri Radha smiled and turning her lips to Krishna's ear whispered something. Krishna stopped playing his flute and began looking at the gopi. Both were looking at each other with unwinking eyes and went down embracing them each other. My Lord, why have you to do this? You came, we all are blessed. Shiva's gopi form disappeared and magnificent Shiva form illuminated, my dear. Both embraced each other. Then Sri Radha and Krishna lifting him up brought him on the throne. His tiger color silk was shining, his matted hair shimmering and horn hanging by his belt. His majestic divine face was looking at Krishna and Radha filled with wonder, and they began to offer him a grand worship. Both was back at the Madanter beach, and worship continued. Bilwali, lotus flowers, mallika garland, sacred ashes. Lord Shiva was covered with flowers. Then they fed him profusely. Along with sage Asuri they fed them. They were so delighted. Then Lord Shiva extended his hand and picked up the culprit who was still in a haze. And he knelt at Krishna and Radha's lotus feet and cried out, O Divine Father, I have sinned against you. I tried to drag you down on the level of passion and lust. I am an offender at your mercy. Tears came to his eyes and Krishna looked at Lord Shiva. My Lord, last time he did the same offense and I turned him in ashes. Then, by request of his wife, I blessed him to stay alive bodilessly. Now, what would you like to do with him? He is at your mercy. Krishna said, I will give his body back. He will be my son, Krishna said. Amazed, Lord Shiva praised the Lord. Oh my dear, unto you not only sex cannot reach, but anger too. O embodiment of eternal forgiveness, O living example of forgive, forget and let go, it is worthy of your supreme magnificence. I adore you, I adore you, I adore you. Please ask if you wish any boon. Krishna said to Lord Shiva, My Lord, give me residence in Vrindavan. My Lord, just give me this. Yes, there will be your temple. I'll give you the name of Gopishwar Mahadev. Your marble temple will be shining forth, and whoever you will bless will find my grace and shall accept his Gopi Bhava Sadhana, his spiritual practice in attaining Gopi consciousness, dear Shiva. So once again they embraced each other, and Shiva and Asuri rose in the sky and flew towards Himalaya with the speed of light. It was almost dawn now. Lord Krishna with so compassionate eyes looked at all of the gopis. My dear, this night will be immortal in your life and in the spiritual history of the world. When anyone will strive to attain a glimpse of it, a glimpse of your love and devotion with which you worshipped me, they will attain by visiting this place and thinking of me, you and our pastimes together. And my dear gopis, whoever will sing the song of our union in this night will be free from the most terrible psychological disease called lust, sex and passion. This night of our union and love dawn will be famous as Brahmaratra. Now we should go home, but our pastimes together will be immortal in our consciousness. Then by the power of the Lord Yogamaya, they arrived back home, and soon they began as normal life as every day before, my dear friend. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.